Hey, welcome back to the Invincible podcast. This is Brian.
This is Darryl.
And Darryl, this is episode 515, Guuuuts in Space.
You trying to do the Space Ghost thing?
Yeah, I thought I did it really well, too.
Okay.
Oh, you're disagreeing?
I just said okay.
Wow. Wow.
How do you take that way when I just said okay?
It's like when your girl says, I'm fine. That's the energy you brought to that. Okay.
Now you're calling me a girl. Okay. That's a little bit more than me disagreeing with you.
I mean,
that's
if you're sensitive enough as a Michigan fan to think that I just called you a girl, that's really on you.
Yes, like you're sensitive enough as a New York football Giants fan.
I was thinking about that today. So, like, Dexter Lawrence wants to be traded, right? But he also wants something like $32 million, $35 million a year.
Good grief.
Which was my exact reaction. But he had, like, statistically his worst season. At no point did he look like he was trying at all during the 2025 season. He might have been. I don't know. Just the optics were that it wasn't. And so it's like, yes, please trade him immediately. Like, don't even, like, don't reward that behavior. You know why he wants a new deal, though? Because he still has like $26 million left on his deal.
Okay.
Or no, sorry. He has $52 million left on his deal. $26 million each year, I think, is what it is. What it boils down to. He doesn't have any guaranteed money left.
Oh, so he actually has to.
Yeah, he has to try.
Oh, man. I swear, some of these guys, and again, don't get me wrong. Like I say, if somebody's willing to pay you X amount of dollars, as ridiculous and ludicrous as I might think it is, hey, go get your money.
Yeah.
But the ego inflation on some of these guys as to pertaining to what they're expecting versus what they produce is sometimes hilarious.
Right.
In the sense of just so detached from reality that it's like if you put it in a movie or something like that, you would laugh. It'd be like something in Chad Powers where it's like, okay, that's so ridiculous, it's funny.
Right.
But this is real life.
Right.
And I just have to laugh at some of these things.
Right. It's just one of those things where it's like, oh, okay, dude, homie, big man, sexy Dexy, if you will. What makes you think that you're worth that? Just out of curiosity. Right. Anyway, but I thought that was very interesting. On another note, I spent like 4 hours last night re-updating my iPod, because I've been using that old iPod again. And I found a site where I can like take my Apple and Spotify playlists and download them to my computer and put them on the iPod.
Okay.
Which is pretty freaking great. So now, like, I'm trying to get away from like having my phone with me all the time, right?
I got you.
All right.
Yeah.
And where don't I need my phone? Really? The gym. Right. So, and like, honestly, like, having earbuds in my ears all the time, like, the AirPods, like, all that Bluetooth going back and forth. Like, I have one friend, she's like, you really shouldn't be using those. It's going to give you brain cancer. I'm like, my brain's already addled, so it doesn't matter. But I don't know. It's just like one of those things. But I got like some really good playlists now to go through.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought so too. I'm kind of regretting when I got it sent off to get the USB-C plug put in, port, sorry. Like, I could have got Bluetooth. I could have made it Bluetooth, and then that would have made it pretty freaking cool too. It's just like, listen, like, then still use my AirPods. But I don't know. I figure I'm going to switch it up a little bit here and there.
Yeah, that's actually like the idea of using that as your musical source instead of your phone.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I guess I could get something like that. But...
Yeah, and I can load like books on there and stuff, and everything.
Oh, that was my other question.
Yeah.
If you,
but I mean, it's books that I've already downloaded. Like, I got to figure out how to get the Audible books in that format where I can just buy them and then put them on my iPod. Anyway, on that note, how are you? How's things?
It's Thursday.
Mike Vrabel.
Thursday before Mania.
Yup. Mike Vrabel got Diane Rossini fired.
No, Diane Rossini got Diane Rossini fired.
Well, I do think it's funny though. Like, do you think they would fire a male reporter for like having an affair?
She didn't get fired. She got resigned.
She resigned. Well, I'm mean, I'm sure they're like, we're going to take care of you. Just resign.
But I actually absolutely 100,000%. Actually, he probably would have been looked at as worse than her. But yes, 100%. Because the fact of the matter is, it's not that you did something that you're. If these were two consenting adults that didn't have families, it would look just as not just as bad. I would say it would look almost as bad because it's not about the relationship. It's about where you are in the hierarchy of things.
Yeah,
like she's covering. Now it's one thing. It's like if they had a previous relationship and she would have to recuse her, not necessarily recuse herself, but you know what I mean? Like from writing about, Vrabel and stuff like that. That's one thing, but it calls into question her credibility and about being objective and objectivity. So regardless of the situation, male or female, if whoever's a reporter is, and you can say, people can say, oh, it's not fair. No, it's totally fair. And it's understandable that she looks worse in this situation, just like a male reporter would versus the coach. And again, like I said, it's not the affair part that is what I'm talking about. Which is, again, yes, that part is a lapse in judgment. However, it's more so the fact that she's a reporter and she's supposed to, she has a certain standard of ethical behavior she should be doing as a reporter to maintain integrity.
Right. For
people can look at her and say, okay, what she writes, or in the case of a male, what he writes, I can believe. I mean, again, we talk about the media all the time. They don't have integrity.
Well, I was gonna call you out on that. I'm like, when did the media start having integrity?
Yeah. And again, not just putting her in that like based on what she might have integrity, but I mean, I saw a video compilation of some of her clips, and she's a doozy. I'll just put it that way.
Oh yeah. Well, like there was all this stuff with her like bashing her husband and stuff, and like oh, he's average and like he's lucky, like just kind of like
right, yeah,
like always. And it, like it's like, is that a joke? Do you think that's funny? Like, how do you think your husband takes that?
Yeah, I never like when people put stuff like that online.
Yeah,
like when I see it, I instantly think, yes, you're a walking red flag.
You're the problem. So, yeah, I don't know. So I thought that was interesting. And then I don't know if you saw, I didn't add it to the news bites, but House of the Seven Kingdoms is delayed because of weather where they're shooting. But
Night of the Seven Kingdoms.
Yeah, I want to say it was Screen Rant or maybe it was CBR. Was like, A Night of the Seven Kingdoms season 2 canceled. And I clicked. I was like, what the fuck do you mean it was canceled? And I totally fell for the clickbait.
I'm so tired of
and it was like 3 paragraphs in where it's like, oh, it's just shut down for weather for the
honestly,
short term.
People that throw clickbait and sites that throw clickbait is an automatic block for me. Like you do that, it's like you do it once, okay, you're warned. You do it again, I'm not jumping on your side again. As if it comes across like that to me, like when I get my notifications, I'm like, okay, this is on the never to go to site again.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know. I just thought that was an interesting bit of news there. So don't fall for it if you see somebody saying it's canceled. Anyway, all right, you want to get to it?
Let's do it.
All right. So first up, we've got Maul, Shadow Lords. I'm just gonna say, I'm just not into this show.
And I'm so into the
here's
show.
the thing.
That's so funny.
Don't think it's I don't think it's bad necessarily. I'm just not into it. I was excited about it in theory, but in concept, I'm just like meh.
So it's funny you say that because I wasn't excited in theory. I wasn't not. I was just like curious. I wasn't sure what we were gonna get, and I gotta say, like I'm actually surprised how much I like it, especially these last 2 episodes. Because again, you were complaining about the action before.
Yeah, I thought these 2 episodes were definitely better than the first one.
Oh yeah, well,
I don't dig it.
Sorry.
You gonna make it?
No,
Are you dying?
Yeah, I had some
Someone's dying.
some grippos before before we started, and I'm guessing that's what's happening.
For those of you who don't know, grippos are some of the best potato chips out there. If you're ever in Cincinnati, you should pick up the box of the barbecue ones, not a bag. This is a giant box.
Yes, this is correct.
I will say this: I do like there was definitely more like action, and the story definitely progressed more interestingly. But what was the second episode? Like 19 minutes again. It took me an hour and a half to watch it just because I kept pausing it and walking away. Not out of like anger or anything. I was just like, okay.
Yeah. So, what were you expecting of this show? Like, as far as because you were excited for it.
I think I was expecting him going around in like less subterfuge and more just Maul as the blunt instrument he's been. And I understand the need for the subterfuge. I just was not thinking, and I guess it's called Shadow Lord, so I should have, known. But, I don't know. I'm not really feeling it. I don't really care for Serrano as a Jedi Master. I don't really dig his Padawan, who I think is definitely going to turn on him by the end of it.
Yeah, the only thing I would say is, and again, sometimes stuff can be good and you don't like it. Sometimes stuff can be bad and you really like it.
Right.
Like what you're saying though, like when you're talking about the action, and again, it's 10 episodes I think. So I don't know what we're gonna get these next 6 episodes.
Right.
And while you were talking about the action, I understand the first 2 episodes, especially the first one, obviously, didn't have a lot of action. Both of these had action, especially I think the 4th one, or episode 4. I will say I'm not a fan of Devon, the Padawan.
Yeah, the Padawan. That's right.
But as far as everything else, I mean, I don't care either way about the Jedi Master. Like, I think he's fine. He does his purpose.
I mean, he definitely has trouble hitting a curveball.
Yeah, but I don't like with her. Again, there's just I see too many of these characterizations of headstrong, strong-willed female characters that do X, Y, and Z, and so with Devon, even though it might be unfair to the character herself, that's how I look at her. It's just like another trope of the times that we're in. Again, fair or not, that's just how I come across.
Do you think this was like, I don't know how long this has been in development before. Do you like? I feel like this kind of thing is in its death rattle, and like this is the last of like the stuff that went into production in 2021.
Have you seen the preview of the Peacock new show MIA?
No.
So yes, this stuff is still going to happen.
You know what I'm saying, though. It's not
yeah. I don't know. I honestly don't know because everything is not created equal. Sometimes I've had that opinion on something or that initial opinion, and as I watch them, I'm like, okay, you know what? Mm-hmm. That's a good job. This one with Devon, again, like you said, I think we know where it's going with her. I actually like the different part of Maul, that psychological aspect of Maul, because he's coming from a place he knows he knows the truth. Well, not the truth, but he knows that that those bits of manipulation because, like you said, you're looking at him as a blunt instrument. Well, you look at like he's still the blunt instrument, but even if you look at Rebels, you could see the growth of him from we had to see growth of him from the Phantom Menace since he had like 3 lines in the movie.
Yeah.
But I actually like that part of him, and I really liked him that conversation of him talking to Devon because he basically said what we've said all along about the Jedi. And there's a line. Where is this? It was a really good line. I hope I have it in here in my little notebook. Okay, oh boy, did I just delete? Okay. Here we go. It's like it is your unwillingness to use your power that makes you weak.
Yeah.
Which I thought that was a perfect summation of why the Jedi Order fell down. And again, not necessarily using your power to conquer, but using the power that you have instead of sitting around doing nothing, playing with your lightsabers, in the privacy of your own quarters, of course, is why. And I just love it. I thought of you when I heard that line because of, the things you've said about the Jedi, over the years and the Jedi Council. And that was just a perfect summation of the Jedi and who they were and why they fell.
Well, so here's just kind of like the whole Frank Herbert of it all. When I have power, I'll do things in my interest. When you have the power, you'll do the things in your interest, right? But and that's just a gross, just kind of boiling down of the whole political thing there. But the thing is true leaders, when they have power, they use their power, but they use it responsibly, and they use it for the betterment of the people that they are stewarding. The Jedi didn't. What?
Yes. I'm sorry. The Jedi didn't.
So the Jedi didn't actually steward anyone. They sequestered themselves away from feelings and attachment and love, which are the things that you need to actually be an effective leader. And instead, they cut themselves off and then started smelling their own farts and just turned into this horrible organization. And then corrupt and everything. But then the Sith, on the other side, they use their power, but they use it irresponsibly. They use it rashly. They use it destructively, and they manipulate and all that. But I do think the Jedi manipulated the entire galaxy into thinking they were this peacekeeping force, when in reality, it's just a bunch of dudes sitting in a room smelling their own farts.
Yeah, well, I would argue that the Jedi manipulated themselves into believing that they were.
I mean, you look at the instance where Yoda even talks about the dark side has clouded their ability in the Force, yet they do nothing to change course to look into why is this clouding. No, there are no Siths. Where on the doll did the Sith hurt you? It's watching this. I'm just kind of completely fed up with Devon and Lizard Guy, and even with Two Boots, they're not gonna let somebody have a droid as a police detective. The Clone Wars just ended. The droids are persona non grata in the universe. I mean, you have a protocol droid try to walk into a bar in this time span. And he's like, we don't serve your kind here. Your droids have to wait outside. That's the other thing that's bothering me about this show. It's just cute. They're trying to sell toys. I get it. This isn't necessarily for kids, but
I was gonna say this is not for kids.
It's also not nostalgia bait.
Yeah.
So I'm just not sure what the purpose of the show is why I'm just not into it.
Yeah. And your point about Two Boots, while accurate, I think he actually creates a very good dichotomy between what's right as far as protocol versus what is right for the people. And you see that, and I did like that, that conflict between him and the captain where, he's like, dude, we need to call in the Empire. This is getting out of hand. And Cap's like, no. And I loved what he said. He's like, he says that, I don't know if he says it to Boots or someone else. It's like, if they come, they are not leaving. And it's along the lines of government. You give government power, they never give it back.
What's the most permanent thing in the world? A temporary government program.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep.
So,
but
yeah, so, I don't know. I mean, like, I did like, I don't even know his name. Lawson. The
captain.
The captain. What's his name?
Yeah.
Lawson. I liked him better in episode 4 than I've liked him in anything else. I thought he was like smart about the way they went, and they're like, Maul's here. But I don't know. I'm just, like I said, I'm not into it. So like when it comes to the ratings for this one, of the two together, I just stuck with the 5 out of 10. I mean, I'm just so neutral on it. I can't give it anything other than just the middle of the range.
Yeah, that's fair, and I have it as a 8.1 out of 10,
which is great. I'm glad. I'm actually really happy you enjoy
it. Which is kind of surprising because again, like, I like some of their stuff they've done with their animated stuff. Tales from they've had a couple that work. I mean, most of their anthology series, it's like 50-50.
Yeah,
like half of the episodes I really like, half of the ones I couldn't care less about. And again, first 4 episodes, I really like what's going on here. They still have 6 episodes. So, and I do this because too often we get duped in the sense of, okay, this has started pretty well. So I'm still, right now I'm really, really enjoying it. It helps when you can watch 2 episodes in a time. Most shows are 1 episode. Yeah. I will say for something animated, I like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see where it goes. But yeah, I really like this show so far.
It's great. Yeah. The next 2 episodes are Inquisition and Night of the Hunted. So those will be April 20th. All right. Well, let's move on to the next topic, which is Monarch. Where we go here? Sorry, my stuff's out of order.
Yeah. Hey.
That's not right either. Oh, there you are. This is the first one. So this was episode 7, String Theory. I like this one a lot. I thought it was weird too. It was the only one we've had in a long time that was just in 2017.
Yeah.
And I think that actually added to the cohesiveness of the story because there was no, technically there was a 2017 or 1958 moment in there in Axis Mundi, but like time doesn't matter there. So who gives a shit? But it was tied directly into the main story. Oh, by the way, that out of 5 for Maul, or out of 10, sorry, was I really thought the Padawan was going to turn on the lizard guy. My bad. Anyway, but no. So I loved the conversations Shaw was having with himself, and then he just gave it away who he was, and I think he underestimated the intelligence his younger self had, because the younger Lee Shaw is a little more analytical and a little more cautious as he goes into things, as we saw with the conversation with his father last week. The older Lee Shaw is brash and headstrong and knows everything like he's a teenager.
Yeah, it's a nice little flip of what you would expect when someone gets older and has all these experiences. And in fact, again, going back to last week's quote, he actually reverts to his father in a way in this one.
But yeah, he
or
has
not in
to,
this
right?
one, but just for about it's about who wins,
Yeah.
And so I that was the best part for me was his conversations with himself and talking about the things that happen to him. He's like, I share all your wounds or something along those lines, inside and out. Because he was talking about Keiko.
Yeah.
And him coming across Keiko, the younger version, and wanting to announce himself and talking about, okay, what happens, because they're playing with the future that or a future of being able to change the future in a way that it's not the same as if you're talking about physics, just having timelines diverge. It's more like this. It's like Looper. This has a direct effect. Right. X has a direct effect on Y. So mentioning that, yeah, you can get her out now, but what happens with Kate and Kintaro, like, are they born? Are they ever born? So that was
what happens if her and Lee have kids together? Because Billy's dead and everything. I thought that was great, and I loved Wyatt Russell's just acting in this episode, like his portrayal, the conflict in his face. Like, I mean, he's got a great jawline already, but like the way his jaw was just like set the whole episode, like, God, I want to do this, but I can't do this because, it's not the right thing. And, I mean, I just thought it was fantastic. And as much as I wanted to see a scene with the two of them together, and we still may get that at some point, I just thought this was a really great interaction for the character and the two versions of the character that we know and love.
I really like them playing off of one another, like being able to play off of each other, as father and son playing the same character, decades apart. That was a lot of fun. We did get, the one thing I really didn't like, and again, I do not like, and I've mentioned this before, and this is one of the issues with the last couple seasons of Game of Thrones, that teleporting across the world. So Kintaro, he met Isabel, who's the daughter of Walter Simmons in the last episode, and that was the Apex CEO from the movie, like the 2020, was it Kong versus Godzilla or King of Monsters? The 2021 movie, whatever.
It was King of Monsters, I think.
So
yeah, it was King of Monsters because that's where they fought in Chile or wherever it was.
Right. So in this episode, he goes from Japan to Thailand to see her after she saw him in Japan and got back to Thailand. And it's basically, you get a kind of a quick summation of
how far is Japan from Thailand?
It's like 2,000 miles.
Is it that far?
Yes.
Oh, all right. Well, I mean, yeah, that's a 10-hour flight.
Because I was I was like, when they did that, and I'm thinking like, wait, which again, it's fine if you build up some time, but you have, and this is where, and you're right as far as the cohesiveness of the story, because almost everything is in the same gear basically. That's where it breaks down for me, is that you have this conversation between Lee and Lee, and then like over a certain amount of time, and then you have Kintaro going from Japan to Thailand, and then going to the airport or something along those lines. Mm-hmm. To be fair, that part I was not really interested in that part. I did like his conversation he has with May, where he tells her, look, I don't need you telling me what I need to do. Let me make my own choices. Mm-hmm. So I did appreciate him and with that, but that the whole, and again, it might come to fruition that it's important, this whole thing with him and Isabel and what she brings to the table. But right now, I really don't care. As far as May goes, the one thing I will say is there is a theory she has that, or they have a theory. There's that theory that maybe trying to control Titan X mm-hmm. actually threw it off its migratory routes.
Right.
So that's because I was wondering, like, why, because Kate talks about at the end of last episode how it was scared. and she kind of revises this a little bit, in this episode, but that does make sense why it would be why it could be potentially lost or just a little bit discombobulated with something like that, you know, trying to take over its, everything CNS, and then just have it just not throwing it off kilter. So from a story standpoint, that's a nice little kind of nugget, I guess you would say. I don't know if I like necessarily if this is a basically ET go home in the sense of, and I know I'm making a supposition here, but as far as let's just help Titan X find its way home. I will say, even if I liked how it got to that point, if that is the end game or the end goal of this season, I'm going to be profoundly disappointed.
What if the whole point of Titan X is to go to that island and get more of its little remora and then go home? Like, what if that's it? What if that's all it does? Is it comes every 15 years, grabs some of those little scarabs and
little
heads
guys.
home? Yeah.
Yeah, I will be profoundly disappointed.
I think that would be actually pretty sweet for something so big.
I again, you think it's, I mean, from a story like this, to make that be the reason for something in this huge universe we've had of monsters fighting and monsters doing this and that is a very disappointing outcome. Sure. And I'm saying, even if we have interesting stuff along the way, like, again, talking about this episode solely, Lee having a conversation with Lee was great. Some the competition between with what Apex is doing versus what Monarch is doing, all of that is interesting stuff, and some more interesting than others. Actually, Kate having a solid story of having this weird connection with Titan X. After still don't care for her character, but I like that they've given her something more than just feeling like, or just being a terrible character. Yeah, like she actually has a little bit of depth now.
Yeah,
and something to do.
A terrible character with a feeling. I've got a hunch. It might be bunnies. Because they're not cute like everyone supposes. Anyway, all right. So out of 5, way to almost erase yourself, Shaw. What do you give this?
3.61 out of 5. Really, it's a good episode. Yeah, like I said, I've had a couple issues with it, but I really can highlight the that conversation with the Lees as the highlight of the episode.
With the Lees.
Yeah.
The Shaw boys talking to each other. Yeah, no, I like this one. I give it a 4.11 out of 5. I'm definitely like you're way more hype on Maul. I feel like I'm more hype than you on this show, just overall, and I'm much more forgiving of certain things. But I don't know. I just really, really liked it. One of my favorite scenes, now I'm thinking about it, was when the old Monarch beacon turned on in the present.
Oh yeah.
And they were able to track it, and I was just like Tim's just enthusiasm for not even questioning why it turned back on, but immediately that's our guy, that's where he's going. So I don't know. I thought it was pretty good. All right, let's move on to Daredevil Born Again. This is what, episode 3, right? No, 4, 5. God, we're already on 5. We're on episode 5
right?
Already. Jeez. What did you think of the episode?
This was one of those that there were a couple parts I really liked. So the theme of this episode, it pretty much encapsulates Daredevil in itself, like himself, because it's about guilt, consequences, and mercy.
Yeah, that's
the big. And again, more than any other episode that we've seen, it highlights it. And again, we were just talking about how Monarch stayed in one time. We see in this one we get flashbacks.
Yeah.
We get flashbacks to you know, Kingpin first before he goes. He acts on his ride before he goes to see the White Rabbit painting. We see Nelson and Murdoch working
Foggy Fembot.
Yeah. Working, cases, before they open their law practice.
Law.
Yeah. So this was one that jumps all around. So in theory, and then you have in the present Daredevil and trying to save Bullseye from the anti-vigilante task force after what he did to after the attack on Kingpin and Vanessa and all that.
Yeah.
I really like the idea. I like some of the conversations. I mean, I really like the conversations between Bullseye because he's talking about, hey, after what she made me do, which you had a choice, what she made me do, talking about Vanessa, he was trying to balance the scales. And then you have, Daredevil saying, basically it's not your job. And then he tells him, he's like, I'm trying to save you because I tried to kill you. So he's trying to make amends for the guilt he feels for what he almost did. Bullseye just survived being dropped off the building. But then you have the parts that I wasn't too keen on, and it has to do with Vanessa. Although I did like the part of her in the past when she's talking about the painting and how she has that connection to it, and it kind of and how it leads her and Wilson together. I did like that part, but kind of like I was wondering at some points where this was trying to go. I mean, I knew what was going to happen to her. I thought it was the way they were playing, on the past. I kind of knew what her fate was going to be. Another thing is, kind of going on that guilt, consequences, and mercy. Like Bullseye also, like in one of the conversations, he tells Daredevil, "We are who we are. There's no escaping it." Which it's kind of it's one of those things where, yes, you have to know who you are, but also you can change who you are if you design to, because he mentions, running around and then turning a corner and there you are again. You can't get away from yourself. That is absolutely true. It's just, do you accept who you are? Do you like who you are? Do you want to be better than who you are? And so the philosophical kind of theme of the episode really did it for me. It's just some of the execution, here and there did not. But I still liked it as an episode.
Yeah. I mean, BB's got to die, right?
She has to.
Like, and I think
has to,
even though as much as I love Blake, I think Blake's got to die too.
Yeah. I don't know about him. I'm not sure.
Well, just he keeps fucking up. Like, I'm not saying he has to die. I don't want him to die. I love that character.
Yeah.
But like, I don't see him like not trying to stick up for BB when it's like when her ticket gets punched.
Yeah. And I will say, in addition, I really liked Buck's, getting more from Buck's character, and kind of like where he comes from and what he's about. And I mean, we've seen how he's a badass, but it goes beyond that.
Yeah. And speaking of Buck, we got the original Buck with some flashbacks with Wesley.
Yeah. Oh, that was cool seeing Wesley again.
I wasn't seeing Wesley and Daredevil again. Wasn't on my bingo card. Dude, you have to watch Billions. He's great in Billions. The guy that played Wesley. He plays a character named Brian Connerty. Anyway, but no, the Buck and Blake road trip, like, I'd be down for more of that. Them just going around and just taking the bodies to the train station.
Well, I love. It was hilarious how Blake was like, "Dude, do it." He's like, I'll do anything."
Yeah.
He's like, "You drove me out here in the middle of the woods." That's what he's thinking. Like, I know I messed up, but
Mm-hmm.
come on, man. I just saw you buy a saw. Like, come on, don't do this. All right,
Do you want a
which part? Of,
saw or do you want to dig?
yeah,
Anyway. All right. So out of Mercy, Sir Mercy, what do you give this episode?
a 3.2 out of 5. Again, very solid episode. A couple things here and there we can mention it ad nauseum. Still looks too clean, too
Oh
polished.
yeah.
It doesn't have the grit. Even when they try to, they don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
But like I said, that the overarching theme of this episode really resonated, and I thought it did the best job this show has done of the kind of like the conflict within Daredevil or Matt Murdock.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah. No, I think honestly, so I actually bumped this up a little bit because of Vincent D'Onofrio's performance in the episode from start to finish. I thought
Yeah, that's fair.
I thought he was great. Like I probably would have been closer to you at a 3.2. But I gave it some extra credit. Especially when the scene where she's like, "Tell us about how we met," and he tells her, and it's this wonderful scene. There's a flashback, and then she's smiling, and she's like, "So tell me again how we met." And I was like, it was just hard. The look on his face, the heartbreak, and then she dies right there, and it's like, this is going to be this unhinged kingpin that like should be on the Netflix show, not the Disney show.
Right.
Anyway, all right, let's move on to The Boys. So this is episode 3, season 5. So you texted me after watching this, and you said to me, hold on, where'd it go? Watching The Boys. Oh my goodness. Can you explain to me what the oh my goodness part of that was?
So that's me thinking that, and this is spoilers, by the way.
Yeah, we're
so
spoiling
everybody. Yeah, just so you know. So that was me thinking Homelander just killed his son, and I did not see that last gasp of breath, like when Butcher is there with him. So I thought, I was like, dude, he just beat his son to death, and so which I honestly, I thought that was like a little bit of a cop out for him to still be alive. But anyway, that's fine. But yeah, that's what that was. I mean, it wasn't even that he did that. It was how he did that. And I know we're jumping to that, but since we're on this, we should just talk about it now. The way he does it was so terrifying because he just holds his arms down to his chest with one hand, and he's like, "Shh, my sweet boy," and just absolutely pummels him. And then at one point, you think he's going to stop. No, he's not going to stop. He didn't stop, and whatever reason, he doesn't kill him. But yeah, so that was my take at first. I was like, "Oh wow, they went there with Ryan," which, again, let's be honest, Ryan is not innocent because we see in the beginning of this episode, he just murders a bunch of soldiers who are doing their job trying to figure out, okay, what's going on, because he doesn't want to be found.
Dude, the shadow of him ripping that dude in half.
Yeah.
Like, now, be honest, you thought it was Homelander.
No, I didn't know who it was, actually.
I
didn't think it was Homelander.
I was like, whoa.
Yeah. I should have thought it was Ryan because of the recap, and it showed him.
Yeah.
But I didn't put that together until you see his face.
I didn't think we were gonna see Ryan until the very end.
Yeah, like again, when they put a character in the recap, it kind of spoils that they're going to be in the episode.
Yeah.
It you just don't know how they're going to be.
Well, like we saw Madeline Stillwell, who was in the preview.
Right.
So
yes.
the previously, and her. Oh my God, he's so gross with the breast milk,
dude.
The bath, and then I don't know if you noticed when Soldier Boy was walking away, he like dipped his hand in and like drank his dirty butt water breast milk. It's like
Like, come on, man.
So, could you get any weirder?
Right.
I, dude, what about Soldier Boy and Firecracker? He's like, oh, I
man.
really only slept with you because I thought you were his girl.
Oh man, he is
Worst dad ever. Worst dad
he
ever.
is like what's gonna like this. I mean, one, I love Jensen Ackles, but watching him, this is like Dean unfiltered to the max and leaning into his like vampire side when he got turned.
Mm-hmm.
Like like some of his
Wait,
lines.
no, the vampires killed him.
Hmm?
Well,
No,
Sam went to hell, and
season
then he
3.
lived that. No, oh, what?
Season 3, Dean got turned, but he was able to. There's a way to, if you get turned by a vampire, to, as long as you don't, I think, feed on blood, you can turn back.
I don't
And
remember
so that was like, that's where they met. What was his name from Gordon, who was played by Sterling K. Brown. Like that's the season 2 and 3 I'm talking about, not like the end.
Okay,
But
I mean, because like Sam dies, he becomes Lucifer. Dean lives happily ever after with his family, and then Sam somehow comes back, and then Dean gets killed by vampires. But
so I basically upended your little 10-year retrospective line by hitting you with something. You were like, oh, I didn't know that. But yeah, I love his
but
play.
it's
I
still
love how
my
he plays
10-year
Soldier.
retrospective works just fine still because it happened prior. So
it didn't work there.
Anyway,
you tried to get it in
look,
there.
I made it work. Stop. Anyway, so the other thing in this episode, we get Maverick, who was Translucent's son. I don't think any of this had to happen. And I think the only reason they introduced Maverick, and it shows a clear lack of incontinuity of Cindy's powers, was to blow him up.
Yes. Which, yes. So
like
it's sight to sight.
Directed, like, I guess, concussive wave that explodes everybody. It's not like Victoria Newman, where she just exploded their head by like bursting their blood. So she doesn't have the bloodborne power, Cindy, but Cindy has the like. Let me and why is Cindy still in her asylum clothes?
I don't.
Like she was like I should have brought this up in the first episode when Cindy was a guard and still in her asylum clothes.
Yeah.
So.
Well, this was absolutely like telegraphed what was going to happen when she came in the room. I knew the second she walked in, I was like, oh, she's going to explode Maverick because she can't see him. Which, from a power standpoint, we don't know enough about her power. So yes, it could work. It can theory, like you said, like that's the best theorization, what you just said, about as far as some type of sight-to-sight concussive blast, that there is something there. She's not just disturbing or exciting something within the body like Victoria Newman did. But who knows? One thing I did like about this, another thing what I liked about this episode is that it's showing, like, on more than one occasion, we're seeing, dude, like, going back to Daredevil, what we talked about is like guilt, mercy and consequences, and the boys are getting their due consequences for things that they did in the past. Huey almost dies because they're not truthful with Maverick, and he finds out the truth in the worst way possible, who killed his father.
Yeah.
The same thing for the scientist when he finds out that Billy was the one that killed Victoria.
Right.
It's I've had issues with this show, not even the political slant necessarily, which I've had issues with because it's so overt and ridiculous at times. But it was more so the fact that these are not good people. And this is what's wrong with Annie, because she knows that, or she understands that, in the sense of what they're doing with the resistance and how many of these pockets of these resistance people are dying in her name basically. And I won't say that she's not, but the boys, they're not good. Like they're fighting on the side of good, but they're not good people. Which,
No.
if you're okay with that, and Billy Butcher's fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
He knows he's a piece of shit. He is absolutely a terrible character, a terrible person.
So is Huey too, though. Huey's worse because Huey pretends to be a good person.
Well, Huey, yes, and again, Huey pretends to be, which, like, that's a very good. We were talking about the Jedi. The Jedi convinced themselves that they were the good guys, and they were, but they also had the arrogance that they thought they knew better than everyone else. Huey tries his best to hide the fact that the things that they've done, they've killed people. Like, yes, you think the Seven is bad and they've done bad things. Yes, they have, especially Homelander. And then people that get in the way. And what do you do because they're in your way? Because this is one of those things. This storyline is basically along the lines of, whatever I have to do to meet my end goal, damn be the consequences for everyone else. We're going to do that. And while I know how it ends in the comic, it seems like it's going, well, I mean, I will say it seems like it is going that way in this particular vein, obviously, with the exception of Homelander still being alive. But so, yeah, I'm very curious to see where, how we get to the end spot. And we had a couple mentions of Marie's character as well. My thing is this with Marie, and I know we had the Gen V show, which we both liked the Gen V show season, especially season 2. I thought season 2 was a little bit better than season 1, even though we lost Chance.
But they handled it so well.
But no, it's not that. I mean, that has nothing to do with. I'm just
I'm just saying, like, they could have, like.
My thing is this. I know that they are preparing Marie to be kind of like, Fat Man and Little Boy for Homelander. I'll say this. I don't know how this is going to end. So this is absolutely just me throwing shit at the wall. If she is the one that take down Homelander, to me, it cheapens this adventure of the boys itself. I kind of don't think they're going to do that. But if they do, and as much as I do like her character growth, and I thought they did a very good job of her having to work to get to her power, where she can, unlike a lot of these characters, in the past in other movies and shows. It has to end. It started with the boys. It has to end with the boys.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to do that though.
So if it to me, it will cheapen it. And again, this is it's not that I dislike her character. I had issues with her character, but I thought, especially with season 2, even though I had a problem with the whole her versus Godolkin thing, overall, I actually think she's a pretty solid character.
Yeah.
She's not a Mary Sue. But again, it started with the boys.
Yeah. Well, okay. So
I don't
you
know
got to remember too, in the comics, like, they all have powers.
Right. Yeah, they do.
And they are the biggest hypocrites ever.
Yes, that's true.
And at the end of the day, like, I mean, they're going to start knocking the boys off pretty soon. Like,
yeah,
I mean, they have to. There's only a couple episodes left.
Yeah. What episode is this? 4? 3. Okay, yeah, 3, and we only have 8, right?
Yep. So there's only 5 to go, and and it's just one of those things. And I think it looks like there might be like a filler episode at episode 5. So, because it's the only one with the title right now. It's called One Shots. So who knows?
Oh, that does sound like a filler,
right? But at the end of the day, like, this episode, like, really pushed everything forward. Stan, like, his plan was revealed, and for as smart as Stan is, he got kidnapped by the fucking Deep.
Yeah.
And I love it. In too deep on his gay ass Cybertruck.
Yeah.
But we also got Victoria's husband and daughter brought back together. I thought that was great. Zoe and Samir. I loved all the V1 stuff that they talked about and
That was great.
why Soldier Boy existed. And now everyone's on the hunt for a V1. And I love that Homelander's just like he's already got it in his mind, right? He's already but really, what has Homelander done that's actually worked out?
Yeah,
exactly. And so, and he's like, I'm going to be immortal too. And Soldier Boy had the best line. He's like, you're going to get old. You're going to be shitting yourself into your colostomy bag in a wheelchair. And I'm going to be leading the 7. And just the Anthony Starr acting response to that was on level with what Vincent D'Onofrio did just in the last episode of Daredevil.
Yeah. I will slightly disagree with, that's a great line. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But the line for me, and this encapsulates Vought, this encapsulates the show, The Boys, this encapsulates society, for good or for bad. Again, this is not just like a negative thing. It's just a fact of life, and it just depends on how it is used. When you were talking about, how you use power. When he's talking to Mother's Milk about what comes next, he's like, you all think, there's going to be something after Homelander. And he's like, corporations must still grow. Money must still be made. The machine must still be fed. That is the way of the world.
Wasn't Stan said that, not Mother's Milk?
Stan said that. Yeah, Edgar said that to the Mother's Milk. When he was talking about, okay, you all are you think this is the end game, basically, when killing Homelander.
You think
there's
this
something,
is the power.
Always something. Yeah. There is always something next. Always. And I love his, Giancarlo. His delivery of that, just that not even that quiet confidence, but the arrogance of someone who not even thinks they know what they're talking about, but knows they know what they're talking about, and the character they're talking to knows what that person is saying is right. It was great line. Just that that great back and forth between those two, because he's like, oh, if that happens, I'm going to put a bullet in your head.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Yeah. It was great. Yeah. All right. So out of 5, Ryan is surprisingly hard to kill. What do you give this?
3.8 out of 5.
Yeah, I went a little higher. Oh, why is yours out of 10? Makes it look bad. I went 4.23. I think this is the best episode so far. I mean, we're only 3 in, but still. I mean, I think I do think this was this is one of the better episodes in the last couple seasons, in my opinion.
Well, I was
so much happened.
Yeah, and yes, and like I said, just like any of these other episodes, it's it has its like little nitpicks, but I thought from a standpoint of what The Boys is, this is, if every episode of season 4 was like this, warts and all, I would have liked season 4 so much more. Because this kind of gets back to what I liked about The Boys, that conflict between what we're doing. Yes, we're doing it for the greater good, but are we the good guys? Are we doing it for ourselves and telling telling ourselves, just like Huey lying to himself about being the good guy. So it's just that conversation that I felt was lost in season 4 with the ridiculousness of certain things.
Yeah. All right. Let's you know what time it is?
It's
time.
I held up the title card in my mind.
Oh. It's time for the main event. Invincible. Penultimate episode. Is this it? Is this the last season? Are they doing more seasons of Invincible?
No, I think they're doing season 5.
Okay. This is season 5.
6. Oh, yeah, I was looking at season. I was thinking of The Boys. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, this is it for the boys. But yeah, so this is penultimate episode of the season. So they added a lot to the Viltrumite War here. The stuff with Thetis at the beginning. There's a scene with Nolan and Thrag on Viltrum. I gotta say, there's one thing I'm super disappointed in. Is all the fat male Viltrumites. Have you noticed that?
What the
Like
hell
a lot
is
of
wrong
them
with
have
that?
massive bellies.
Like, why? I've noticed that too.
I don't know. I think because like Seth Rogen is trying to make them all look like him. Anyway,
But
just something I noticed. I meant to call it out last week, and anyway. Okay, so this one starts thousands of years ago. Thetis assassinates Emperor Agral after questioning the Viltrumites' brutality. Regent Thrag is named ruler in his place in order to Viltrumites to fight each other to purge the weak from the society. Here's the problem. You know who was in that scene when he tells them to fight each other? Little Nolan.
Yeah.
Nolan is not thousands of years old. Like, he's thousands of years old, but he's not that many thousands of years old.
Right.
So I just I'm gonna say real quick, I really love this episode. But just when they're adding this stuff and playing fast and loose with the timeline, I don't understand the need. Like, how about you don't animate those scenes and you don't make Thrag look like he's got Down syndrome?
Well, no, you do animate those scenes. It's just you have to be more cognizant of who you put in those scenes. And again, I'm pretty sure. I mean, it could have been Nolan's dad, who looks just like him.
There was a bunch of people who were saying it was Nolan. So,
well, it doesn't matter what they say.
Yeah, I know. You're right. You're right. But here's the thing: the Viltrumites are all supposed to pretty much look alike. So,
but we know they don't.
They're
but to your point, what you're saying, and I said that just because I just thought about it now. But to your point, I was like, isn't that Nolan? So, not saying that I didn't think that, because I actually did think it was Nolan. But I really like, out of the stuff that they've added, the stuff about Viltrum is far and away better than slop we got for episode 4.
I mean, yeah, it's better than most of the stuff for sure. It's just I just don't know if it needed to be like that long. Yeah. Plus, we already
no. To your,
sorry, go ahead.
It was too long.
Yeah,
I thought it went on, and this is the thing that we go back to what we talked about with that Conquest and Invincible fight.
Gratuitous.
Sometimes it's better not to show everything, or to have an editor say, okay, this guy got 3,000 miles of guts pulled out. Can we stop at 3,000? Like, no, let's go to 7,000.
Yeah.
Same thing with I thought the fight, on Viltrum was awesome. However, like you said, I think they could have cut it down. Shave some time off, because it got to a point where you get desensitized to it, especially when you have a massive fight coming in the second half of the episode. Yeah. You have to think like that, and they didn't really do a good job of that.
So the other thing that they didn't do a good job with, and I think they completely forgot that it existed, was the ring of dead Viltrumites.
What do you mean?
Around the planet.
Like who forgot?
Like the animators, it was used throughout the fight, and they were all hiding in there. I don't know. Here's the thing. That's a fucking nitpick. But I will say there are a couple animated scenes that are just straight out of anime, where it's the frozen landscape with the speed lines over it. Or there was one with Mark's face where it was like a Teen Titans Go reaction. And it's just I really want, that's not a good thing. I really want them to for the next season, because obviously the last episode's in the can already. It's let's spend a little less money on the voice actors, because they don't matter as much as the actual animation.
No, because you can get a good voice actor.
There's so many good voice actors out there.
I mean, yes, we talked about having Lee Pace's voice, and I like Lee Pace's voice. I like Clancy Brown as Thrag. I like Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Kong. I like all the voices, but I love Peter Cullen as what was the guy's name? Datus. Oh, did you see Frank Welker was the guy that what was the emperor before?
Agro.
Whose skull he? Yeah, that was Frank Welker who did Megatron.
Okay, nice.
But that's all nice and good. But to your point, the animation is far more important than having a celebrity voice.
Yeah. I mean, I think
if you, a good voice.
If you go get like Larry Kenney and Frank Welker, and I can't remember his name now because we started talking about it with Optimus Prime.
Peter Cullen,
thank you. Like, if you could get those guys, that's not like going out and getting Jeffrey Dean Morgan or Clancy Brown,
not.
Or
right.
I mean, like I even think J.K. Simmons. Like while I like him as Omni-Man, like it doesn't have to be his voice as Omni-Man. Like I'd be fine either way. I do like Steve Yeun's voice as Invincible. I really don't see anyone else or want to it's kind of what Mark sounded like in my head anyway. Because he's kind of like he's a less cool version of Keith from Voltron Legendary Defender. So
that's a really good, nice little callback right there.
Which is also Steve Yeun voiced character, who was the best character in all of Legendary Defender. So anyway,
Lance, buddy,
please
get out of here.
Galra Keith was
Shiro.
Way better. Shiro, fuck Shiro and his fake arm. Anyway, him and his husband can die in a Galra fire. Anyway, like if it wasn't for Keith, none of this would have happened. So back to this less cool version of Voltron. So the fight was great. It was way more brutal. I thought like not Thrag. What's it? The guy with the eye patch. Digging into Thetis's back after it got cut was pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
But like, dude, you're right there. Just rip his spinal column out.
Yeah, I don't know.
Done and done.
Again, so. That's stuff that I think about in a lot of these shows and movies and stuff in these fight scenes where it's like you had them right there. Why didn't you just do this there then and there?
So the Battle Beast stuff was done. I really liked the Space Racer stuff. I thought it was interesting when Tech Jaqueta put her hand over his mask and like it healed his mask. That was cool. The Infinity Gun or whatever they call it was sick.
So OP.
Well, yeah, but it's fine.
It's all right. No, I mean it's awesome. It's like that in the comic. Here's what
I'm happy about. We got Oliver getting his jaw punched off and his arm ripped off. That's all I really wanted. And then we got them flying through the planet. And I didn't think we were going to get this, but Alan punched that Viltrumite in the tummy and came out the top of its head. I did not actually think they were going to animate that. I'm super happy that they did. I think there was more use of the Ragnars and the Beetle Serum than in the comic, but that still worked. I'm not sure how the Ragnars flew.
Well, they didn't really, and I was wondering that too. They really didn't fly. They basically Space Racer hurled them.
Well, he hurled them, but all you got to do is move out of the way, and they're just flying off into space.
Yeah, and that's what happened to them.
But there's no reason to fight them. Like, just get out of the way.
But anyway, it was pretty funny that because I was thinking, I was like, dude, they can't fly.
Yeah, and they froze on a planet. What's happening in space? Space isn't hot. There's no ionosphere to keep warmth in. There's no magnetic field in space to be warm. It's cold. Things freeze.
Yeah, maybe it has to do with the gravity, though. I don't know,
or the lack thereof.
Yeah, right.
So,
I mean, again, I love this episode. I was, just a few minutes ago talking about restraint and all that stuff, but at the same time, I love the carnage of this episode.
Yeah,
just the violence of it. I mean, both from the fact of in the past and in the present.
Yeah,
I mean, one thing I was slightly disappointed from is we got that amazing shot a couple episodes ago when Conquest came up behind little Omni Boy.
Yep, Oliver.
And, yeah, Omni Boy. I'm gonna call him Omni Boy.
It's Kid Omni Man.
And one of the best shots, like I think it's like not even a question, one of the best shots in the series.
Oh, absolutely.
And what I was really hoping for, we were going to get a similar shot of them, of the three Vilter Knights, Nolan, Nolan Thetis and Mark coming out the one end of the planet.
Yeah.
And it wasn't.
No, they wasted it with them flying through the bedrock. Like I thought we were going to get that scene when they got to the core.
Yeah, that was too much too. Like that scene should have been cut a little bit because the overall aspect and the impact was well done, where you see the planet just exploding.
Yeah.
Where you see just.
I also think it lost a little bit of subtlety there too, because Nolan like pulls like the edge of Mark's costume, just like pinches him forward a little bit, and this one he like physically grabs him. Like it's like there's just no subtlety to these people. They don't understand it. They don't understand why him just a little bit faster, buddy, is gonna like work. And like I don't know. No, the planet scene was great. I did like seeing the destruction to the mantle, and all the buildings breaking apart and everything, and then the actual explosion was cool. And obviously the follow-up was great.
And again, I just looked at that because I was looking at something else the other day, and I was flipping through my compendium, and I saw the scene where them flying out, like just the artwork on that scene, and I was hoping we were going to get a similar type of shot.
No, that shot got replaced with the planet exploding, like the Death Star.
So, like as far as much as that was like the. To me, honestly, and again, it's a nitpick, and you'll see from my score. That was the one disappointment. That was probably the biggest disappointment because that scene, that one page, or that like in a comment, I don't know if it's a splash or just a one pager, is incredible, and not to get that in that scene was disappointing.
Yeah, it was awesome. And then the whole thing where Threg just rips Thetis' head just clean off like it's nothing.
Man,
like that was great. And then the fight where Nolan and Mark get incapacitated by Threg, and obviously Oliver is like survives.
I will say this: I don't know many, like as tough as Mark is so far. Like, ain't nobody takes a punch like Nolan.
No.
I mean, he got uppercutted off the planet,
and then, he got uppercutted onto the planet. And when he got uppercutted off the planet, he like went full air. Threg went like full airbender. He took like all the air out of the room and is like dragging him towards him, and then just like, bam, right to the stars, just
that,
out of space. Like, and wouldn't Nolan have had to like fly back into the atmosphere to get some air to breathe?
I mean, I guess he knew that he was going.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe he caught his breath on his way up. He's like, I just got it in the stomach. I'm going to die. So anyway, but yeah. And then, I didn't think they put enough emphasis on like, where did they go when they disappeared here? Again, the subtlety is gone. It was just the nuance wasn't there. And I think part of it is because like General Talia is like the smartest person in the universe.
I am so.
Anyway, that character does not need to be in any more scenes.
I'm so tired of her.
Yeah. So, anywho's cool. But yeah, and then Mark realizes what's happening there. I am excited. I am assuming the first scene in next week is going to be Mark just once they get in range of Earth, like flying out of the hangar of the ship at, impossible speeds.
Yeah.
To check on Eve and Debbie. Although I don't even know why they'd bother checking on Debbie because, she's got Paul to protect her. Anyway. All right. So out of 5, I can't believe they animated Alan punching the top of the head through the stomach. That doesn't make sense. Here, I'm gonna change this real quick because I don't really like that.
Yeah.
All right. So out of 5, they exploded a whole damn planet. What do you give this one?
4.37.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun with this episode. I love the carnage, and I had to back off a little bit on certain things that. Again, the spectacle was so well. There were some technical things and some disappointments in the story, and I've mentioned it enough about the explosion of the planet scene. Yeah. But still, I really enjoyed this episode. I'm really looking forward to what we get with the finale. But yeah, 4.37 out of 5.
Yeah, I mean, I went 4.28 out of 5, right? Wait, you changed your score.
Yeah, because that's what I mean. I thought it was like 4.6, and I'm like, that's a little high for. I have too many issues with certain things to keep it that high.
Yeah, I went with the 4.28 out of this, and it great. I took some bits off from my nitpicks, but at the end of the day, I thought this was a great episode. I mean, I don't know if it's the best. It's probably the best one of the season. I don't know. I love the first episode of the season really well. Yeah. But yeah,
and it was a marker to. It was such a reminder that the Viltrumites, as strong as they are always going to be their own worst enemy.
Oh yeah, always.
Throughout their history, they're always their own worst enemy.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, that's it for this week. Make sure you watch WrestleMania. I do think it's funny. We didn't mention Easter or any of that stuff, but here we are talking about WrestleMania. So you see where our priorities lie. Just watch Saturday night. Like Pat Clown if he wants you to do.
Yeah.
Also, congrats to Darby Allin.
Darby.
That was great. I loved it.
That was crazy. That I finally watched that this morning because I didn't even know. Like, I was gonna watch it and I got spoiled on a YouTube title because I
assumed I spoiled you when I sent that.
No, I didn't know who won, but like when you sent it, like when you set the headlock table, I kind of figured that Darby won.
Yeah.
Even though you didn't like the clip and you didn't technically spoil it. Yeah. Once I saw that, I'm like, I'm sure. And then I got really spoiled when I was watching a totally different video and I saw.
I'm not going to lie. I've watched that match like 12 times today.
That was hilarious.
It's an excellent match. Anyway. All right. On that note, we'll be back next week. We'll probably talk a little about WrestleMania. We'll talk more about all of these shows, some of which are coming to an end this week or next week. So it's great. It'll free us up to talk about some other things again. Anyway, Darryl, any last words?
Nope.
All right. Thanks for listening. We'll be back next week. And remember, be infamous. The Infamous Podcast is recorded in Kings Mills, Ohio, just north of Cincinnati. You can find new episodes every Sunday on Apple Podcast, YouTube, Spotify, Google Podcast, our website, or anywhere podcasts are downloaded. This show is hosted by Darryl Jasper and me, Brian Tudor. To find more information about the show, visit us at infamouspodcast.com and follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Infamous Podcast to keep up with the show. We also have a Patreon page, patreon.com/infamouspodcast. We have some great rewards for our patrons and are looking for help to grow the show to bring you more of the content you want to hear. Music for this podcast is provided by Michael Henry from meetmichaelhenry.com. So, whenever you're listening to us, have a great day, night, evening, weekend, whenever it is, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for listening.